Okay, today we're going to go through the thesis lab that I have set up at the moment, and we're going to start with my laptop. So this laptop here is doing two important things. The first one is that it's hosting the blockchain access control server, which is being used by both my Raspberry Pis or my primary group heads to interact with the smart contracts that you can see. Well, you can see the JSON files for the smart contracts right here. Those are the ABIs, which are very important files for the primary group head, which I transmit from this blockchain access control server to the primary group head to actually make it work. But right now, we don't need to go through all that details. It's part of my other YouTube video where I go through how to integrate the Raspberry Pis with the blockchain access control system. But yeah, this is what it does. It acts as a blockchain access control server, but it also acts as my development workspace for deploying this ESP32 code inside of each individual ESP32s. So I'm using Platform IO to install the firmware on each ESP IoT devices. After this, we have this monitor here, which is connected to both my primary group heads. So they're basically sharing a monitor space, and they have their own individual keyboard and mouses. So the Raspberry Pi here are acting as the primary group head. As you can see here, the Flask API server is on. It's again, the Raspberry Pi is also doing two important things, which is first is acting as that Flask API server to enable my ESP32 devices to connect to this service, and then be able to transmit frequent and continuous temperature and humidity data. These are the IoT devices in use. These are ESP32 devices. Some of them have displays on them, which helps me troubleshoot as I log or print all the activities that they perform inside that display. And one of the ESP32 also has a DHT sensor, which basically is used for generating real temperature data of the environment. But however, for the purposes of the lab, we have all the other ESP32s generating dummy data and sending continuous information to the Raspberry Pi, which is the Flask API server. The other thing that the primary group head is also doing is that it has a JavaScript service called primaryhead.js, which is acting as the gateway for communicating with the blockchain access control setup right there. It executes or triggers the exact smart contracts and fetches the information responses, hooks off-chain transactions that is going on in this dashboard right here with the on-chain access control mechanisms already in place. Right, so we are facilitating all of this using two primary group heads, with each primary group head having at least a couple of ESP32s under them. The PGH2, which is the other Raspberry Pi, also has a similar setup to this. I just need to switch the HDMI cable to the monitor, and then I'll be able to work on the other one. Yeah, that's pretty much the setup here. And all of this is being facilitated thanks to the network interface that we have at CMO. I'm probably going to cut this one, but we are using a ESP32 as a router, which generates the private network here, which is being used in order to do all of the things that it does in this setup here. That's pretty much it. Thank you.